So this is 4-6 slope-intercept form. I need you to write down y equals mx plus b, and the m represents our slope, and the b is our y-intercept. So in this first problem, we're asked to graph a line with a slope -2 and y-intercept of 4. I want to take it to the next level already and have you guys write the abbreviation. So slope is m. So m is -2, and the y-intercept is b. So b is 4, and then we plug that into y equals mx plus b. So we should get y equals -2x instead of mx, plus instead of b, I'm going to write 4. So now I have this, and we're going to graph that line. Okay, so to graph this, we're going to begin at 4 on the y-intercept. You always begin at the b, so that makes it easy to remember. And then my slope is rise over run, -2 over, since it's a whole number, we put it over 1. So I'm going to go down 2 because of the -2 into the right 1 because of the positive 1. I'm going to do that again, down 2 to the right 1. And if you notice, my line is actually a negative slope line. And that's not a coincidence. If this number, -2, let me point to it, if this m is a negative, then your line should be a negative line. So in this problem, we're given a slope of 4 and a point on the line, which is at 2, 5. The bad thing is we don't know the y-intercept. In order to write a line in slope-intercept form, we have to have the m and the b, the slope and the y-intercept. Here we have the 4, so I place that into my line, but we don't have, so we have this 4 that I put here, but we don't have the y-intercept. So we need to work with this right now to be able to find the b for this problem. So the x and the y in the y equals mx plus b is actually an ordered pair. It could be any ordered pair that we want in the world. You could put any x in there, any y. But in this case, we were given 2, 5. So I'm actually just plugging into my y equals mx plus b everything that I know. I already knew y was 5 because it tells me in the ordered pair. So I put 5 for y. Then I brought down the equal sign. For the m, I put in the 4 because we were told slope is 4. For the x, I took it from my y ordered pair, so I put my 2 here, and now I'm just going to solve for b. So according to PEMDAS, we'd start with our multiplication, and then we'd isolate b, and then we can finally write our equation in slope-intercept form because we'll have the slope and our b, the y-intercept. So when I calculate for b, I end up with b equals -3, and then I plugged in my slope and my b, so y equals 4x minus 3 is my equation, and we can graph that. We begin at -3 on the y-intercept, we rise 4, and we run 1, since the slope would be 4 over 1. So for this problem, in order to get it into y equals mx plus b, we have to isolate the y first. So the first thing that I usually do is I box off my y, because I can't do anything with that yet. And the 3x has to move to the other side. It's basically going to become the opposite sign. So minus 3x from both sides. That goes away. So we get 2y equals -3x plus 8. And then I can isolate y finally by dividing by 2 to everything. Make sure we divide by everything. And for the slope, -3 over 2, you just leave that as a fraction, as long as it's simplified. And the 8 divided by 2, you can calculate that's 4. So if I were graphing this, I'd begin at 4. And then I'd go down 3 over 2, and I'd repeat that, down 3 over 2 again. And I can create my line from that.